Originally, I set out to be a weaver. I wanted to become a distinguished weaver, to stand out in different ways that you would look at the material and you would know that that's me. But, I've certainly become known as this scavenger of found materials. And because I'm not going to Bunnings or Mitre 10 for my material, I actually have to scout for it. So for this commission, I've actually travelled around 4,000 kilometres to come across a pile of this material. Narrbong-galang is the title of the work that I've created. Narrbong meaning in the Waradgerie language bags, bush bags, even the pouch of our marsupial. It certainly has some wonderful colours about it, the brown rust straight up, and I quite like that lovely old-fashioned mustard-looking colour. It's certainly close to one of the colours of our ochres, which is basically an ironstone. "30 years before, living out in the bush in the weekends with my non-Aboriginal dad, teach us all this Aboriginal information. My dad wants to take in the old dumps and look at trinkets and things, and we'd take that home and make something with that we needed. It wasn't just a want, it's what we actually needed. So some 30 years later, I was asking Mum about borrowing Dad for a little while to go back out bush and rediscover my childhood environments, the Mallee and the Riverina. I was the reader and the writer and the thinker of this partnership. And because Dad did the driving, he dictated where we went. And I was saying, no, come on, Dad, we're here to look at the fire, but not looking for the trinkets and the old scatters of rubbish. But he encouraged me, he told me I was taking too long. What about just taking that piece of corrugated iron? And I did end up taking that just to shut Dad up. But I did pound this beautiful shape within that looked like the shape of the bottom half of a football. And so I was saying to my visiting mum, what does she think about that shape? Her answer was, well, it's a coolamon, of course. And I said, oh, you're an excellent student, Mum, that's exactly right. And I was saying to Mum and Dad, I could now be a sculptor. And they were like, what is that? I'm really disappointed in my enthusiasm. But never mind, it's what I've become, isn't it? A sculptor. But I am going by protocols that we have. The Aboriginal people only take what they need. And for native title, we didn't hear language like we own country, like traditional owners. We didn't hear stuff like that. So I'm very much about fighting all that and saying, no, it is country, it is our mother, and nobody owns their mother, and that we are to give back and care for our mother who cared for us. So we are custodians. And I like to say that to get my material, I'm doing my bit to clean up Australia, but on a more serious note, I'm about clean up country. So it is a wonderful way of looking at that, of repossessing, taking back country. And I suppose it is a lot of that when I go back and revisit those areas and see, because I've removed that, and particularly if it's grown food, it's extra exciting. And perhaps that was a scar in your mother that you've helped remove that scar.